Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Hot Stew Media, and today I'm just going to be providing a couple Phillies updates, right? The Phillies this week, on Monday, this past week, clinched their first NL East title since 2011. It's been 13 years. It's been absolutely crazy. I meant to make a video earlier this week talking about it. Unfortunately, I've just been so busy. Now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on the notification bell, like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So it's been 13 years since the Phillies have last brought home an NL East title, and it's about time a different team has won the National League East, right? First time since 2017 since a different team has won this division. So Atlanta Braves, for the first time since 2017, have not won the National League East, but they're still in a pretty good position right now. The Braves are actually, playing pretty good baseball right now. So if you're watching this video, maybe they're on a 4-game winning streak, and now they have the same record as the New York Mets. It's going to be very interesting to say. Unfortunately, the Braves kind of had some momentum in that series against the Mets. Of course, and then, this hurricane has brought so much rain. So, of course, both of the remaining 2 games of the series got postponed. Of course, they will be made up. The Braves did win that first game against the Mets. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that. I mean, there's a chance that the Mets might miss the playoffs. Hopefully that happens, but I want to talk a little bit about last night. First of all, we head into Washington. Of course, we do clinch the bye, which is huge. And for all season long, this Phillies team had, for most of the season, had the best record in baseball. And I'm a little bit annoyed. I'll be straight up. I'm a little bit annoyed that this team now is pretty much. I mean, unless they tie with the Dodgers, they happen to win the next 2 games against Washington, and then the Dodgers lose the next 2 games. Then they're going to be tied for the best record in baseball. I mean, this is really just not acceptable. And I hate to I don't want to make it seem like I'm complaining the week we just won our first NL East title in 13 years, and we did clinch the first round bye, which is huge, and give the guys some rest. Hopefully that's not a detriment to this team, almost like the Atlanta Braves, in 2022 and 2023 when they had the first round bye and they absolutely collapsed. I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, I think it's actually going to be great for guys like Bryce Harper and a guy like Ranger Suarez. Oh my goodness gracious, we'll talk about that. Oh my goodness, he really needs to rest, clearly. I don't know what's wrong with him. But I think it's going to be great for these guys to kind of rest up a little bit, kind of get some more season, ready for the playoffs, and just to try to, rest up a little bit and just, get more healthy. The Phillies, heading to Washington, D.C., this is the Washington Nationals have been awful this year. They've been awful ever since 2019, pretty much. They have one of the worst offenses in the game. They're absolutely horrible. And again, we were going against arguably their best pitcher last night, Trevor Williams. Very, very good, right? He's excellent. He's not Patrick Corbin. He's actually really good. We just got absolutely squashed. Of course, 9-1 was the final. And again, these games don't mean anything, but the fact that Ranger Suarez is going on the mound, against one of the worst offenses, and not only one of the worst teams, but one of the worst offenses in the game, and he gets absolutely shelled. And it's been more of the same. The velocity's down, and the velocity's down. He doesn't show any stamina at all, and he has really looked lousy on the mound. He's really looked lousy. He hasn't been the same since the injury, and I think it's been before the injury. I think it's been since early July since he's really, he's really had dominance. He hasn't shown dominance since then. And this is a guy that's really going to benefit from that first round bye. And of course, I'm going to, it's hard to, again, obviously we only muster across 1 run, but it's kind of hard to, complain too much about that because considering the fact that, again, it's the end of the season. He's taking the starters out. Of course, Harper only had 3 at-bats last night, or 2 at-bats, I think. I think it was 2 at-bats, but, or 2 plate appearances, I should say. Of course, he did strike out and then walk, but, my point is that it's too hard to complain about that simply because, you could definitely tell they're not going at, 100 miles an hour like they were before. We were going against Trevor Williams last night. I'm a little bit sympathetic from an offensive standpoint. What I'm really worried about is Ranger Suarez. That's what I'm really concerned about. Just the lack of just stamina. The velocity is way down. He doesn't look good at all. He looks really, really lousy. And I'm not gonna lie. I wanted the best record in baseball. I want to get greedy. I wanted the best record in baseball. I'm annoyed that the Los Angeles Dodgers most likely had the best record in baseball. I wanted that. I wanted that for this team. I wanted to have the best record in baseball. And now it's probably not going to happen. And I'd like to win out the rest of this year. I'd like to win these next 2 games so we could finish the year with 96 wins. But who knows that? I think that'll look great. I think it'll look great on the resume. But who knows if that's going to happen? Probably not, to be honest with you. Just simply because, again, partly understandably, this team isn't going to push too much. But, oh, man, I'm dying to talk about this. First NL East title since 2011. So, of course, on Monday night, coming off of a very disappointing 3-game series against the Mets. I don't think I talked about that on here. don't think I did. But that was disgusting. I mean, that was such a disgusting series against the New York Mets. I mean, you take 2 out of 3 in Philly the week before, and arguably that was a hard fought. Excuse me, a little voice crack there. That was a really hard fought. Series win in Philly. I mean, they came back in both of the games. We could have easily gotten swept, and then they fought all the way back, and we were able to win that series. I mean, that was huge. I mean, it basically won us the division right there. And I said going in, right? I said going into the 4-game series in New York, I said, if you just win one, you're fine. And that's exactly what they did. But it's just the way that they could have done so much more. They could have at least taken, they at least could have split, if not taken 3 out of 4 from them. I mean, that was such a especially in New York. I mean, you lose 3 out of 4, and of course the Mets fans actually thought they had a chance to win a division. I thought that was cute. And they actually thought they had a chance to pull ahead in the division and possibly win the NL East. And of course, that was more the week prior, but they actually thought they had a chance. Even in that series, which I thought was just ridiculous. I mean, just totally, the math just doesn't make any sense. And of course, we clinched the very next game, our first NL East title in 13 years. But we had our chances in that series, and we just couldn't get the job done. And this is the kind of thing. I mean, we easily could have got to 100 wins this year as well. I don't want to make it seem like it's like one of those videos where I'm complaining. I mean, this is still supposed to be a positive video, right? I mean, we're national league champions. That's something to be proud of, despite making the wild card the past 2 years, especially last year. That felt more legit because we won 90 games. But despite making the wild card the past years, like, this feels really good. It feels really good to win your division. That's like such a great way to enter into the postseason. That's such a dominant way to enter the postseason. So congratulations to the Phils for winning the division. I mean, that's such a big deal. That's really just such a big deal. Again, if you sneak in a wild card and you win that wild card series, you're in pretty much the same position as a division winner. But it feels good to just not even have to deal with that. You get the peace of mind with the first round bye of just not having to deal with the wild card series. That's really, really huge. You're not put in a position where you could be eliminated like that. It's really important. That we put ourselves in the best position possible, and we're not like the Atlanta Braves that's scrambling. And again, they might make the playoffs. Compared to the Mets, hopefully they do. I'd much rather see the Braves than the Mets. But you're not in a position like the Atlanta Braves where Atlanta Braves fan like David, for example. David, if you're watching this video, that like you're scared, like, oh my gosh, are we going to make the playoffs or not? And part of that's exciting, it's the thrill of it, but it's nice to just not have to worry about it. We've won 94 games. The NL East is ours. We could just sit back, and again, I don't want to make it seem sit back. I mean, obviously we could take the gas off a little bit, but losing 9-1 to a team that going in won 69 games. I mean, that's when you have Ranger Suarez on the mound, the guy was an all-star this year and hasn't done anything since early July. I mean, that's just to me. I mean, that's a little concerning. And then, he's getting shelled out there against these no-name guys. I used to know all the Nationals. Going back to, 2019 and 2020, I was so familiar with the Nationals, and now I know, nobody on the team anymore. I don't know anything about the Nationals. It's kind of amazing how much they've changed. I mean, since, Bryce Harper, think about 6 years ago. Think about who was on their team. Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, Anthony Rendon, who has disappeared from baseball, who wants the game shortened, wants the season shortened because he's a little crybaby and with the Angels. I mean, he's on a failure organization. He's been a disaster with the Angels, but that's a whole nother thing. I used to really respect him, and I think that he's kind of a clown at this point. Juan Soto was there in his rookie year. I mean, you think about Strasburg, Scherzer, Gio Gonzalez. I mean, think about all the guys that the Nationals had 6 years ago. Think about the team there now. They're a totally different team. Even the 2019 championship, they have hardly anybody left. Is there anybody left from the 2019 champ? I don't even know. It's just the team has changed so much. And again, one of the worst offenses in baseball. They've been going on these long scoreless streaks for innings upon end, right? The Washington Nationals, and then we go in, and of course they scored 9 runs, not 3 runs, 9 runs against us, 9 runs. And again, it's not time to get too overly upset. And this is a team that's won a division. They clinched the first round bye, so it's not time to start freaking out and acting like a little child. I hope I'm not. If you think I'm doing that, then maybe I am. I don't know, but I'm a little bit flustered about it, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit flustered. I'm very confused by it. And another thing I'm very confused as to why Ranger Suarez is out there getting shelled on the mound, and he is smiling. They showed him, they showed us a picture, and he had a smile on his face, ladies and gentlemen. I don't understand what's funny about that. I don't understand going to Washington, D.C. against a pathetic baseball team getting shelled, why that's funny. I don't understand what's the humor in that. I don't understand that. Why is that funny? Name one funny thing about it. I don't find it funny at all. And again, it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of he's been really pathetic. I mean, he really has been He's really, really struggling. I'm really hoping he could turn it around. We need him to turn it around. We really need him to turn around heading into the postseason. So, he's going to get some time to rest here. I mean, we at least needed to be halfway decent. I mean, it's to the point where you even wonder if you even want to start him, because it's just, he's been so terrible. I don't know. I mean, that's the problem. I mean, he's just been so lousy out there. I mean, the velocity is way, and that's the biggest thing too. I mean, honestly, he's not executing his pitches well at all. I mean, they're just, he doesn't seem to have good command, but also the fact that his velocity has dipped. His velocity it's really taken a hit. And I think that's been kind of like the most befuddling thing. And that's kind of concerning. That's kind of concerning, that's the case. So hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I mean, hopefully some rest will do him well with that, but, we at least needed to be, keep us in the ballgame, not, get absolutely just bombed by one of the worst teams. I mean, a team that has, going in won 69 games last night, right? I mean, we can't be having that happen. Right? And even if we lose to either or even get swept, I mean, who cares? I mean, obviously, again, I don't want that to happen. I want to end the year on a high note. I want to try to get to 96 wins, series 95 wins. That'd be huge. But I don't want to, end the year on getting swept by the Washington Walgreens going into the postseason. I don't want that to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't want that to happen, and I don't think any of us want that to happen. But hey, if it does happen, it is in the end of the world. It's not going to affect anything. Of course, the Nationals they're just trying to get, David Martinez, I guess, is just trying to, get ready for next year. And, we've all been in that position where we know we're not going to make the playoffs. We're just trying to, play spoilers, and we're not going to spoil anything, obviously, since we've already, it's already been solidified, our appearance in the division and everything. But we just kind of want to make a tough run. The teams are heading into October while, they're just going to be sitting on the couch. But we've been on the receiving end of that plenty of times. I mean, Bryce Harper, I want to talk about this, 30 home runs. So he did it this past week. I mean, first of all, Taijuan Walker. Why is he? Let me talk about this. Let me talk about it before. I'm going to skip Bryce Harper for a second. Why is Taijuan Walker? I mean, I understand the amount of money we owe him and everything. Why is he even seeing the baseball? He is terrible. He is horrible. And not to mention his attitude about the whole thing is even worse in itself. But this guy shouldn't even be seeing the field. I mean, this guy is horrible. I don't care if we're winning 10-0. I wouldn't trust this guy to come in. I wouldn't. He is trash. He is so bad. He goes against the New York Mets. He gets absolutely bombed. It's almost like a forfeit. It's almost like, Rob Thompson's going in saying, oh, we're just going to give this one away. Oh, well. Like, I hate that. I hate, being so complacent like that. I mean, come on. It's always like forfeiting the game. And that's not the right attitude to have. This guy, every time he comes in, he gets bombed. He allows so many walks. He works he can't, he doesn't have a good put away pitch. He gets so many guys to 2 strikes. He can't finish the job. And he just gets himself in so many deep counts, and he's terrible. I mean, this has been one of the worst contracts. I mean, luckily it's only a 2-year deal, but obviously this is it for him. But I mean, this has just been such a bad signing by Dave Dombrowski. I mean, horrible. But anyway, the reason why it reminded me of Tom Walker is because he came in on Tuesday night against the Cubs when we got a nice 1-0 lead from Bryce Harper's 30th home run of the season, and then the game is over because Taijuan Walker came in and he did what Taijuan Walker does and get absolutely shelled and allowed all these home runs and walk all these guys, and then he allows home runs, and then that's the end, right? But Bryce Harper, 30 home runs, right? 30 home runs once again. It's the first time since 2021, since he's hit that 3rd time here in Philadelphia. Of course, he did it also in 2019. So you could add that to the resume. I mean, it's a shame because he probably would have added the past 2 seasons as well, 23 and 22, but obviously the injuries have hindered that. And also, he would have also had it in 2017. He finished with 29 in 2017. So he's knocked on the door of it multiple other times in his career. But I'm glad he was able to do it. Maybe we could push one more. I mean, who knows? I mean, if he doesn't, then who cares? But really great year for him. Despite, playing, he's still hurt, basically. I mean, you can still see he's wincing in pain sometimes after swings. I mean, that's where the week off is really going to be huge for a guy like that. I mean, even Trey Turner as well. I think Trey Turner kind of seems a little tired, too. So I think this team, obviously a guy like JT has been behind the plate, all season long. And it's just little things like that. I mean, these guys really need the rest. These guys really need the rest. And it's not like, we're losing a lot of momentum anyway. This team looks fatigued. I mean, we lose 9-1 to the Nationals last night. I mean, this team definitely needs a little bit of rest. I mean, there's no doubt about that. This team definitely needs some rest. And it's going to be interesting to see what we do in the postseason. So we lose the first game in D.C. Obviously, we do have the next 2, tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon. Obviously, it's been very rainy here up in the Northeast, in the Philly area. I'm sure, down in D.C. as well. It's been very rainy here. Obviously, the hurricane, my prayers go out to the people that are involved in the, been affected by a hurricane. I mean, that's obviously, it's again, like every year around, like late September is usually when this all happens. I had, family that was directly affected by Hurricane Ian 2 years ago. So, I mean, it's pretty devastating stuff. So, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I mean, hopefully you can maybe at least 95 wins. I mean, you at least got to take one out of these, these 3 games and the next 2 games, right? But again, I mean, division champs, first time in 13 years. I mean, think about it. In 2011, when Ryan Howard was kind of starting to, kind of degress a little bit. Obviously, he did finish that year with 33 home runs, but he was starting to. I mean, that was before the Achilles injury, but he was already starting to show signs of kind of declining a little bit. Obviously, that was Jason Worth was no longer with the Phillies at the time. He had just signed that deal with the Nationals entering before 2011. 2011 was an interesting year because the Phillies actually had a lot of injuries that year. Jimmy Rollins missed some time. Chase Utley missed some time. So it was kind of one of those years where a lot of guys stepped up. I mean, the pitching staff is what really got the Phillies, really propelled the Phillies in 2011. So it's kind of interesting to look back at that. Back at that year and just see how far they come. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on that notification bell, like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Follow me on Instagram at Phillies Hot Stew Media. I'm Luke and I'll talk to you later. Let's go Phils. I'll see you guys.